Center TV 15 on Facebook. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. If you're driving along Walnut Lake Road, you will see that construction at Chico Elementary is making quick progress, leaving many passersby to see the new, huge elementary school and wondering what's to come. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh has the scoop.
With news of a state-of-the-art building that incorporates the latest in technology for education, the West Bloomfield community is excited for the brand new Chico Elementary School. Jamie Stoudemire, Assistant Superintendent for Facilities and Operations for West Bloomfield School District, took us on an exclusive tour as it's being built to give us some details.
The building is essentially divided up into 5 parts. They're going to be working on the building from west to east. At the far east end over there, they've started the new preschool, which will be attached to the main building. All of the classrooms are here on the south side of the building. The architect designed that purposefully to get in a lot of natural light into those rooms. And then beyond that, there's a large open concourse. And then beyond that, we have the gymnasium and cafeteria, so we'll go check it all out.
Mr. Stoudemire started the tour inside, highlighting one of the newest features for safety and security of the students.
One of the things I wanted to mention that's nice about this building, and we're going to incorporate this into the design at Doherty, is we have these safety cubbies. It's essentially, it's the safety shelter for 2 classrooms. So 2 classrooms then would be able to go into these cubby rooms right here, close the door, and this becomes their safety shelter for both severe weather, and if they have a lockdown incident, they would be able to go into these cubbies and be safe.
As we continue to the second floor, Jamie shares the purpose of an extended learning space.
This here is the campfire circle. It's actually going to be an enclosed extended learning area. And that's one of the things in modern education is the kids aren't just in the classroom all day long. Learning is everywhere. So they bring them out into these extended learning spaces where they could, get 1 or 2 classrooms here together and work on lessons with the kids. So this here overlooks the main concourse, as you can see from the second floor.
We also explored the cafeteria area with a unique piece of technology installed.
So here we are in the new cafeteria. As you can see, we have a large bay window in the back. They're going to have some blackout roller shades that come down, and that's going to transform into the stage area when they need it. So this is a very bright open space. It's fairly large. They're going to have a neat piece of equipment over on that wall called the Sketch Aquarium. It's going to allow the students to sketch out fish, and it's going to import them onto the screen, and they can move the fish around on the screen and stuff. It's going to be a pretty cool feature, to provide some additional ties to the curriculum here.
At the conclusion of the tour, Jamie explains what's still being worked on and when the school will be open.
We can't go any further. Obviously, you can see the caution tape there. The steel workers are putting up the structural steel in the office area. Above the office is going to be the new eye center and STEAM lab, so they're getting that all prepped. And for safety reasons, we can't go any further. But just beyond that is the gymnasium, and beyond that we have more classrooms and stuff. So it's kind of a mirror image of this half of the building. But we're getting very we're very excited. It's moving along really well, and we're slated to be done in June, so we're excited.
Top-of-the-line technology embedded in this learning facility will make it one of the best experiences for our local youth to be a part of. The new Chico Elementary School is set to open in the fall of 2026. From West Bloomfield, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
Appreciate Kevin for going and getting that story. Great to hear of all of the construction updates that have been taking place with Chico. That school will be open. It'll be a bit of time before that school is open, but once it is, it will be such a great part of the Greater West Bloomfield community. In West Bloomfield this weekend, Powers Road from Orchard Lake to Daly and part of Daly Road near Chimney Hill will be closed starting today, July 25th to July 27th for the annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show that's taking place this weekend. Motorists will be directed via West Maple to Daly to Chimney Hill. So please follow detour routes, allow extra travel time, and contact the art show at 248-762-2462 or info@hotworks.org with any questions. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people out there for the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show this weekend, including myself and Tyler Key from our team. We'll be out at the event talking to a lot of the artists and a lot of the guests to hear what they have to say of this incredible event. And you can stay up to date with all of the clips that'll be coming from this year's Fine Art Show on our website, civiccentertv.com. Just scan the QR code you see on your screen to stay up to date with everything that we have here with Civic Center TV. And not only that, another way to never miss a story, you can sign up for the Civic Center TV newsletter. Our team sends out a newsletter that highlights our top stories and best programs each and every week. Now you'll never get behind on the top stories in Greater West Bloomfield. All you need to do is scan the QR code on your screen and it will take you to our sign-up page. Then check your email at the end of the week and see what's going on in your hometown. Of course, our content is always available on civiccentertv.com. With Michigan in the midst of another harsh heat wave, everyone's going to be wanting to get outside and cool themselves off in the water, especially families, which is why it's important to make sure that your little ones are up to date and informed on what to do in the water. Goldfish Swim School in West Bloomfield is available with informative swimming lessons and just recently collaborated with several other swimming schools for the world's largest swim class. I was there to talk to several residents on why these resources are important, especially now.
It is the world's largest swim lesson. It's just bringing awareness to drowning prevention and taking that first initial step to saying you're going to be a safer swimmer by taking this lesson. So what we're going to have today is this hour of open swim where the kids get to have fun in the water, participate in it, and then afterwards we're going to do a water safety presentation, not just for the kids but also for the parents on how to practice water safety at home.
I think it's absolutely important for all the young children to learn how to swim. We live in Michigan. There's a lot of lakes around here, and it's important to know how to swim.
How cool is it for a place like Goldfish to be involved in something like the world's largest swim lesson?
That's a pretty amazing effort that they're putting forth to get people out and aware of water safety. Even if they can swim just a little bit, it's helpful, but I would always suggest a life jacket for younger children anyways.
What would you say were some of the most important lessons that were taught at this class today?
Probably it was nice at the end that they explored like how to do the water safety, try to help others if they're in need, because we've never really talked about it, so it's nice to know like to throw something for help and stuff like that. Yeah.
You kind of see every day different stories of stuff happening around the water, and I kind of do as much as I can to prevent that, as well as everyone else here. We really strive to keep everyone safe, not only here, not only with their at-home school, not only it's kind of like rivers, lakes, anything around that, just kind of around the world. Really just bring awareness as much as possible to people just so they can be safe in and around the water.
What do you hope are some of the biggest things everyone takes away from here today?
I hope everybody takes away a much better understanding of the water safety that's needed and how to protect your children in the lakes and rivers of the area.
I think the most important thing that if I can tell them is swim lessons save lives. By taking swim lessons, you stop that prevention of drowning up to 80%. So it is just such a big number. That's a big jump. 80% is such a big number to know that, like just knowing that we're going to prevent that drowning.
Our biggest thing is water safety. Our number one priority is water safety. So not only just as being a goldfish thing, but being a nationwide thing of people at home doing this, different swim schools of really pushing that water safety. We have our whole month dedicated to water safety, so I love that we can put an extra day worldwide to have people put first water safety.
Water safety, the most important thing to take into consideration, especially around this time of year. So we really appreciate everything that Goldfish does to help educate the kids of the community and for providing such great resources to get them used to the water. CNBC's 2025 Top States for Business places Michigan at number 6 overall, marking its highest position since the rankings began in 2007. The state jumped 3 spots from number 9 in 2024 and number 10 in 2023, appearing in the top 10 for the 4th time. Small business survival rate and economic resilience contributed to the state's higher ranking. And we recently had Oakland Thrive business consultant Jamar Bray on the program to tell us about what this means for Michigan going forward.
Thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to it and, ready to talk about business.
Yeah, it's good news for businesses, I'd imagine, here in our community and throughout the state of Michigan. When you have a designation like this from a reputable organization like CNBC that says Michigan's among the top 10 states in the U.S. for businesses, how does that ultimately impact our small businesses and hometowns like Greater West Bloomfield?
Yeah, I think it gives you a clear indication that you're in the right place. As a entrepreneur and small business owners throughout, they oftentimes doubt themselves if, did I choose the right area or did I choose the right business to go into for the area? But even when you look at just how powerful the state is, and even locally, how we pour into our entrepreneurs, how we have different programs like Oakland Thrive that's in Oakland County, and we have different programs throughout Wayne and Macomb County. So, and just locally in West Bloomfield, how Oakland Thrive, how we support our entrepreneurs to stay active in the community. And we have trainings and seminars and different resources. So I think just is really more or less the camaraderie that this community has built in order to build up the business community and continue to promote from within, continue to promote small business. And I think that's why you see this ranking come out, because the dedication to small businesses throughout our state.
In Michigan, jumping 3 spots from number 9 back in 2024. It was number 10 in 2023. It's the 4th time it's appeared in CNBC's top 10 states for businesses since it began doing this poll. Michigan also ranking 4th in the cost of doing business. All of these factors combining, Jamar, how do they set up businesses in our local area, especially those that are starting off, for having that early momentum that can be really critical to maintaining a small business for many years?
Yeah, I think honestly it's really just getting entrenched into the community. There's a lot of different chambers and different resource partners that offer so much help so you can promote your business, so you can start your business. I know with the West Bloomfield Chamber, there's a lot of events that they do for both startups and operational businesses. So I think when you look at how great the community is when you first start out, and it can be a struggle. Everyone knows when you first start a business, it's uncomfortable. But when you have resources out there, and when you have a team of people that is sitting there waiting for you, to really bolster your success, and I think that is really why you see so many people are starting and keeping businesses for years upon years, because of the longevity and their touch to the community.
Among the different factors that contributed to the rise in rankings from number 9 in 2024 to number 6 in 2025 from CNBC, infrastructure, workforce, quality of life, and as we mentioned, cost of doing business. Jamar, diving deeper into into those details. You talk to these small businesses here in Oakland County and specifically here in Greater West Bloomfield. What do you think are some of those more direct factors that lead to Michigan being such a pleasant place for people to not only do business, but an economical place for people to start and maintain and especially to grow their small businesses?
Yeah, and just to kind of just piggyback on just the resources that are available, but not only that, you see where a lot of people are starting to build a multiple different ways of doing business. You know, you have people that's even doing trucking, and you have people it's so diverse here in Michigan where, you know, in certain communities throughout, you'll see, you know, one state is more dominated in this particular area or in this particular geographic. But when you see in the state of Michigan, and even locally in West Bloomfield, you see that this is a very retail-friendly city. And so when you look at how many people have retail and restaurants that are opening up locally, I mean, it is truly amazing. And I think the issue now, you know, with a lot that's going on that's out of their control with, you know, anything that's overseas and trying to, you know, ship and everything. I think when also they take that factor out and see that there's partners within the community that they can, you know, have a supplier with, I think it's truly amazing. And just seeing the community come together, I think it's so easy for everyone to distance themselves and go into a silo and say, I'm in this particular business and I don't need help. You know, the Greater West Bloomfield really believes in just helping each other in whatever way they can.
And it's all very sunny informational and information, and super welcome to have this sort of honor from a nationally reputed organization like CNBC, ranking Michigan in the top 10 states for businesses and just a stone's throw away from the top 5. But it's really tough to ignore other more recent information, particularly about unemployment when it comes to the state of Michigan. Those numbers not really been improving in recent months in particular, but small businesses with the economical successes that they can be having as a result of some of those factors that have led to Michigan being in the top 10 states for businesses, how maybe can they contribute to taking some of those people that are struggling to get back into the workforce and using their talent and their expertise to not only grow their business, but to give those people jobs that they're going to really have an opportunity to grow at?
And I definitely agree with you. I think using the talents that are in the community, and I think a lot of times, you know, oftentimes businesses don't know. You know, if I'm just sitting in the business and I'm sitting and I'm working on the business, I don't even know about the talent that is outside of, you know, these 4 walls. But, you know, partnering with the Michigan Works who can help you, you know, find that talent. So when I say there's resources, there are plenty of resources. So you can identify those talents and partner with organizations as such. But I think it's more or less going to a deeper dive into really those silos that I mentioned, right? So, you know, if you don't know what's in the community because you're not in the community as much as, you know, doing networking or different events, you wouldn't know about the talent that's there. So I believe that a lot of businesses, you know, when they take a step back and they think about, you know, how can I really give back to my community? And it's really just partnering with the Michigan Works, like I mentioned, because I believe that they'll be able to find that talent for you and kind of foster that idea of bringing the community back together. And no one wants to be unemployed. I mean, it's too high out here. The cost of everything is way too high to be unemployed. So, you know, whatever way that small businesses can really tap into the community to bring people back to work, I think is definitely what at Oakland Thrive we also foster as well.
Jamar Bray is with us from Oakland Thrive, West Bloomfield business consultant, joining us on the Splash Live. You can get more information on Oakland Thrive on their website, oaklandthrive.org, and how they can help your small business with some of these different helpful tools and tips right here in our community and around Oakland County. Jamar, there's so much talk about infrastructure playing such a big role in Michigan, rising through these ranks, but when people think of infrastructure, they usually think about the basics. They think about pipelines. They think about especially roads, and there's going to be a huge debate about whether the roads are a source of the improvement improvement here. But when we dive into these articles about why Michigan's rising the ranks in terms of business friendliness, that infrastructure really comes back to innovation, particularly on the technological side. How has Michigan sort of been on the forefront of new technologies, especially AI, but also with it being home to things like Automation Alley and so on? How does that play into Michigan's prospects for the present and the future in business?
I mean, it is huge. I mean, you look at, there's even a Project Diamond where, they're actually, helping people learn, 3D printing, and those people are starting to turn, what they thought was going to be a hobby into a full-time business with the 3D printing. So I believe that AI is starting to really, well, I would say programs like Automation Alley and different other programs are starting to really integrate with the people of how to learn about the AI change. AI is going to be here, and it's either you're gonna learn it, or it's going to pass you by. And a lot of people you're seeing are jumping in that boat and really moving it into where their business can thrive off of AI. And of course, there's always a personal touch that you need to have. But when you have Automation Alley who's pouring into the community, and you have Project Diamond, when you have those different programs throughout the community that is dedicated to teaching you about AI, instead of it being an enemy, it could be your friend. So I'm seeing that a lot in the local community, and it's really amazing to see the different innovation ideas that come from it.
Oakland Thrive's Jamar Bray joins us on the Splash Live as he talks about the local impact of Michigan being ranked number 6 in the country in terms of the best states for businesses by CNBC. It's the 4th time they've reached the top 10 in these honors in recent years. They're also 13th for workforce, 14th for quality of life, and 18th overall out of the 50 states for the economy. Jamar, all of that comes back to momentum for our small businesses in Oakland County and here in Greater West Bloomfield. So before we let you go, how can Oakland Thrive help these businesses take that momentum and make the most out of it for their present and future?
Well, that's the best question of the day right there. I think the way we offer our trainings and workshops and seminars that are dedicated to the different topics that are plaguing the small business community, whether it's AI, whether it's tax help, accounting help, whatever you can think of. Just when you go to the website, you'll be able to see our profiles. You'll see all the beautiful consultants in different areas, but you'll also be able to see our website and see the trainings that are going on, and even if there's a question that you have on AI or your business, or how can Oakland Thrive help you, please feel free to give us a call, email, if you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We'll even send a pigeon to you. Whatever you need, we want to make sure that Oakland Thrive is here for you in whatever capacity that we can. So different trainings and workshops that we offer is just the baseline of everything that we're doing to give everything back to the community, to booster everything up from there.
Plenty of helpful resources are available on the website, oaklandthrive.org. You can also call them at 248-602-0040. Jamar, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So many great resources and a huge accomplishment for the state of Michigan. We appreciate Jamar Bray for stopping by and talking to us here on the Splash Live. We are in the middle of summer right now, and the heat is harsher than ever before. Michigan is currently in the midst of another harsh heat wave, meaning that it's more important than ever to keep yourself safe from the weather and the very hot sun. Joining us now on The Splash to tell us more is West Bloomfield Fire Department Captain Michael Wood. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Really glad to have you with us, and good to see that amazing fire truck right behind you. Always great to see. And right now, we're in the middle of summer, and everyone is getting hot outside, and the temperatures are much higher than we've seen recently. What are some of the most common heat-related emergencies your department responds to during extreme heat?
Well, with any heat, you're going to have the heat stroke and heat exhaustion. And so if you're outdoors, planning on being outdoors, hydrate ahead of time. Hydrate the day before. Drink a lot of fluid. drink some electrolytes to keep your chemical balance all normal, and keep drinking when you're outside.
That's absolutely right. Drinking water and staying hydrated is one of the most important things you can do. Dehydration can be a very problematic thing to deal with. What signs of dehydration should people watch out for, would you say?
Well, if they transition from a sitting to a standing position, they get lightheaded and dizzy. Okay, your fluids are probably low. When you urinate, it should be clear. If it's a dark color, you need to drink more. If you're outside and you're sweating a ton and then you stop sweating, that's a really bad sign when you stop sweating. Get yourself into a cool area, whether it be in a house, whether it be in your car, whether it be at a cooling center. Sorry about that. We're a little bit busy today, so I'm going to pause so that I don't have to talk over them.
Don't worry about it. But those are some very important tips to keep in mind. I didn't even know about the one you just said about when you stop sweating all of a sudden, that's very, very bad. So always, see, I just learned something myself. So it's great that everyone is having this information. And of course, it's not just dehydration, it's heat exhaustion and heat stroke that can also provide problems for a lot of people. Are there any warning signs or symptoms of those that residents should know how to recognize and respond to?
Well, if they're not responding appropriately, if they're not making sense when you ask them basic questions, if they're a loved one of yours and you just know that, okay, they're not acting right, get them inside. Yeah, feel, even just taking the back of your hand and just feel on their forehead. That's something that will, offer some clues as to what's going on.
There you go. Simple things for everybody in the Greater West Bloomfield community to keep in mind. Now, everyone's going to be wanting to stay cool this summer, and some people might not have access to air conditioning at their home. So I'm curious, do you know of any cooling centers or maybe some designated safe spaces throughout West Bloomfield that residents can use if they don't have some of those resources at home?
So off the top of my head, no, I don't know of any. Having 4 kids, and they're all grown up now, but when they were younger, we would spend time going to the mall. We would spend time at the public libraries, the different libraries, and have fun visiting them and seeing what they provided for the kids, while also it kept us all cool. If you have a basement, hang out in your basement. The basements are usually cooler than the main floor and the second floor. If you're going to be in water, if you're going to be in a lake, use extreme caution. Know your limits. If you are outside a lot working in the yard or exercising, now you jump into a lake, be very cautious because how your body's going to react to that temperature change. Your muscles are going to seize up. They're going to start spasming. Speaking from experience, when I went to a tennis camp, I jumped in the deep end of a pool. I'm a good swimmer. I love the water. My legs seized up. They cramped up. Scared me to death. I'm a strong swimmer. I was able to wade over to the edge. I didn't want to cause a ruckus because I'm with all my friends. I don't want attention drawn to me. So I'm just going to swim over here. So in the lake, you got to be cautious cautious of your swimming capabilities, swimming with a buddy, even having a flotation device behind.
All great information. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with West Bloomfield Fire Department Captain Michael Wood, who's providing some very important tips to stay really, really safe this summer, especially from the massive heat strokes and the massive heat waves, including the one we're dealing with right now here in Michigan. Now, Michael, with something like this, it's always important to not only take care of yourself, but also to maybe check in on some vulnerable neighbors or some loved ones who might not have as many resources as you have. How can residents check on vulnerable neighbors or loved ones safely during a heat wave?
Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry.
Go right.
There's always a good time to start being a good neighbor, and it's now. always check up on your neighbors, even if it's just casual conversation. If you see somebody that's old in your neighborhood, even when you're driving out, stop to them, talk to them, find out how they're doing. If they need anything, hey, I'm going to run to Meyer. Can we get you something when we are there? You never know what can happen. With regard to just checking up on them and inviting them into your house if you have air conditioning. With the storm that blew through yesterday, it was really neat standing outside when that storm first came through. The gust of wind, we'll call it the gust front, awesome to experience. But then that brings challenges of down trees, down power lines. Now people turn to generators to power their house. With the wind, with the humidity and the temperature, you really got to watch even the standby generators and the portable generators and making sure that they're far away from the house and that exhaust is not sneaking into the house. That's where the carbon monoxide detectors come in really handy, especially if they're battery powered, so that you know that carbon monoxide is staying out of the house. Some generators are powerful enough to power air conditioners. If you are at all in question with regard to if your generator can power an air conditioner, contact a qualified electrician and they'll be able to answer that and maybe even hook you up with some type of a device that can make your air conditioning work on generator power.
All right, lots of important information that I hope everybody takes away from this conversation. And Michael, I am curious, I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up, because I'm not just asking about what other residents should do to stay cool, but I'm also curious about what you and the rest of the firefighters do, especially going into these hot situations. What types of gear or preparation do firefighters use to protect themselves while working in such very, very high temperatures?
So we don't have any specialized gear that we have to deal with the higher temperatures, but we do have strategies and extra manpower that we can call in. On a typical house fire, we may put 3 stations on it normally. If it were to happen today and even yesterday, we would pull all 6 stations to come together and help fight that fire to give guys time off and recoup and go into rehab to cool their body temperature down. We have a wonderful mutual aid pack with the surrounding communities that we can call them in as well to offer assistance and provide manpower so that we can rotate crews and keep them out of the hot environment, have them strip down on their gear. We carry a lot of extra water and a lot of electrolytes that we can put in that water to keep that chemical balance correct in your body.
There you go, all going back to staying hydrated. Great to hear of everything that the fire department has on hand to help you guys through it. Last question, Michael, before we wrap things up, where can people go to gain a little more information about how to properly navigate such harsh heat waves like this one?
I think YouTube is a great thing. You could probably even hit the Oakland County Health Department, hit their webpage. They may have heat emergency little guidelines and suggestions to avoid such emergencies.
All right, great resources for everyone to keep in mind. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We may be mostly through July right now, but summer is still very much here and is still very much hot. So make sure that you stay hydrated and navigate yourself safely through the rest of the summer months to make sure that heat wave doesn't get you. The 14th annual celebration hosted by the West Bloomfield School District Family Fun Night will be taking place on Thursday, August 28th at 5 p.m. This family-friendly event promises games, activities, and entertainment for all ages, and is a chance to celebrate community, togetherness, and gratitude. And this year, they're saluting our U.S. military, police, and fire heroes for their service and dedication. Julie Beatty, the coordinator for this year's event, joins us right now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Julie, very, very happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for allowing me to join you. I'm really excited.
Of course, and I'm very excited to be hearing about this year's very fun Family Fun Night. And as I just said, this year's theme is saluting the U.S. military, police, and fire heroes. How did that theme come to be? What inspired it?
Yeah, good question. Actually, that's been our theme since the very beginning. We began this about 14 years ago. It was myself, along with Nancy Cooper and Pat Watson, who was the principal at the high school at the time. And we started Family Fun Night with really a simple goal. It was to bring the West Bloomfield community together to celebrate the excitement of back to school season and really to strengthen the bonds that makes our area so special. And it kind of began as a smaller gathering. It's now grown into a beloved annual tradition that welcomes families, educators, local organizations from all across the area to come in and to be together and to celebrate basically the Greater West Bloomfield area. It is a night filled with laughter, music, games, connection. But more importantly, as you were stating, it is actually a time that we honor our heroes who keep us safe. So it honors the military service, every arm of the military, the police officers, our firefighters. We even recognize the first medical responders during COVID, so we recognize doctors and nurses and our appreciation to them during that time. So as I was saying, the military honoring and the police and the fire department have actually been an integral part of our program from the very beginning. And matter of fact, for 2 years, the fire department and the police department actually had softball games going on right before our event. So they've been an integral part of really bringing this community together and wanting to acknowledge and recognize the service and sacrifice that these people make for us. And as you said, it's about community pride, it is about gratitude, it is about togetherness. And I'm really excited to see where the next 14 years takes us with this event.
I'm very excited too, and I can hear the excitement in your voice, Julie. As you said, this event has been going on for the past 14 years. I do believe we have some photos for the people watching on Civic Center TV of last year's Family Fun Night event. It was such an amazing celebration. Can you give us an overview of maybe some of the activities planned for this year's event?
Absolutely. So as we do every year, the police department will be there. We have invited every arm of the armed forces. Right now we're having I believe everybody has RSVP'd, yes. But of course, things do come up. So we won't know to the day of who's actually going to be able to be on site. But as of right now, we have all the armed forces being represented. We have the police department that have been invited from Kego Harbor, Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield. So some of them are going to be bringing cars. Some of them will be bringing their dogs. So we'll be able to see the dogs from the West Bloomfield Police Department. The fire department's going to be there. They're going to bring their fire trucks, the hazmat trucks. They will be bringing a piece from the Twin Towers from the 9/11.
Oh, wow.
So we'll be able to pay honor to those who we have lost in that horrible tragedy. So that will also be on site. And we also are going to be having face painting. We're going to have flip books. So opportunity for photo booth. We've invited 95.5 to be there. They've been there for us for the last couple of years. We are having bounce houses. So this year we're expanding our bounce houses. So we're going to have bounce houses appropriate for elementary and bounce houses that are a little more bigger and challenging for the middle schoolers to enjoy. A lot of the high school students will be there. A lot of them have been involved over the last several years. The Honor Society helps out and they volunteer for the event. We have different clubs coming in to represent. I know that the drama department's going to be there and they'll be doing face painting. So there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot for everybody to come on down. Every organization from the communities, I don't even want to list them because I'll forget somebody, but a lot of the communities are going to be there. All the PTOs will be there. It's going to be a great night. And we have actually surprised this year, fingers crossed. I don't want to give it away, so you're going to have to come down to see what it is. But we do have a rather big surprise that is scheduled to happen this year.
Man, you are setting the stage beautifully, Julie. It sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening this year. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Julie Beatty, the coordinator for this year's Family Fun Night that's going to be taking place on Thursday, August 28th at 5 p.m. Now, there's also going to be a varsity football game that takes place that night at West Bloomfield High School. So how do events like this strengthen school spirit and community pride, especially with the tie-in to the varsity football game.
That is our anchor. And that was always the intention for the last 14 years. This is our Friday night lights. You know, we don't have an actual downtown. So this really gets the opportunity for the community to come together like that old school, small town feel where we're supporting our local high school football team. We only have one high school in the Greater West Bloomfield area. So let's all get down there, support our team, be the community, bring your children up to the high school. It's a great way to get the little ones exposed. It's a larger campus, so it can be a little daunting. So this is a great way to introduce them not only to the campus of the high school, but to a safe, happy, fun football game, and get to see a lot of the high schoolers who volunteer for the event.
That's right, and I'm so happy you just mentioned volunteering, because even though you're the coordinator for this event, I'd imagine it's very difficult to put on something like this alone. Volunteering plays a very big role in helping to make this event possible. What role do volunteers and school staff play in organizing and running this event?
They're instrumental. I couldn't do this without them. As I said, we started this 14 years ago with just the principal, myself, and Nancy Cooper just brainstorming and trying to figure out a way to put this together. It has now grown in astronomically. I mean, the entire district is involved. We got the principals make an announcement at the schools, getting kids fired up. We're selling spirit gear at the site at the Family Fun Night. It's free to get in for anybody wearing, or the kids wearing any spirit gear. So it's really an opportunity for the entire district to get together. We have a dunk tank every year, and the principals and the teachers give their time and give up, you know, they get wet every year because the students will stand in line to dunk their principal and teachers. I volunteered one year, nobody wanted to dunk me, nobody cared. So it's amazing that these teachers and the principals give up their time and to be part of the event. And the entire school district central office is involved. They help coordinate it. The fire department, the police department has been incredibly supportive of this every year. The military's been supportive. It literally takes a huge village community to put this event on, because it is the one event we have that is in district-wide. And it's huge and it's free. So come on down, join us on the 28th of August. We can't wait to see you. Thursday Night Lights this year.
Thursday Night Lights. I'm sure the kids absolutely love that dunk tank, but I can't wait to see what's to come from this year's event. I got one more question before we wrap things up, Julie. What advice would you give to families attending for the first time to really make the most of the evening?
Come early. There's so much to do. It starts at 5. If you come a little early, it's okay. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to see. The kids really enjoy it. We need to close down by 6:30 so we can get the armed forces and the police and fire out to the 50-yard line. So we always do a dedication to them pre-football game. So it only is about an hour and a half, even if you come at 5. So come early and enjoy the evening.
There you go. Come early and enjoy the evening. Can't wait to see it. Julie, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for supporting the event as well. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, always. Once again, Family Fun Night is going to be taking place on August 28th at 5 o'clock p.m. Make sure you mark your calendars and head out to the high school to support this incredible event. Tomorrow is the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. It makes its grand return to the community, showcasing several different and unique artists from all across the United States. One of those artists is John Dennis, a contemporary artist showcasing abstract sculptural pieces made of cast resin and glass-like media, featuring vibrant color accents and distinctive textures. He recently joined us on The Splash Live to tell us all about his work and his artistic process. John, great to have you with us today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Absolutely glad to have you with us. Really excited to hear about what you do. You can already see some of your work on our screen. If you're watching on Civic Center TV, it looks beautiful. What inspired you to create these striking resin sculptures, and how do their forms reflect your artistic vision?
Sure. So my concept is basically snapshots in nature where they're whether it's water transforming into something else or basic forms in nature and what they do. So I try to keep it active as sculpture and then I sculpt it as though it's kind of in motion, and then the glass with the translucency allows me to allows the light to be a big part of the work, and that really pops the work and brings it to life.
Love it. Love seeing this great work and always love seeing this beauty. I mean, this is some of the best work I think we've seen so far here on the Splash Live, and we've seen some incredible things. Have you found that the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show audience responds differently to sculptural pieces compared to traditional paintings or drawings?
Well, good question, because this will be my debut to the area, so we will see. We will see. But I'm excited to find out.
Yes, I'd be excited too. I'm sure the audiences in West Bloomfield are going to love it. How does working with translucent materials and internal color layers influence what reactions you hope viewers will have?
Sure. I do this color spontaneously, but I always keep in mind the end result with the color combinations. And again, the form mixed in with the light. So different times of day, it looks differently in the sunlight. So I always keep that in mind. And I try to use natural colors, the golds, the light blues, the dark blues, some of the salmon colors. And that just keeps it, again, in that natural kind of presence.
Awesome. All great things on display. And I'd imagine with a lot of these artwork that there's going to be some stories or emotions that you're hoping people take away from these artworks. What stories or emotions are you hoping to spark in the Greater West Bloomfield community when they encounter your work in person?
So I have a piece called Soleil, and initially I made that piece. It was basically the Renaissance sundial that was in art for a long time, and I did it in half, and it actually it looks also like kind of like wings, but it's basically the radiance. It's a radiant element. And then I also have some water features that are, again, kind of the idea of rebirth. And so I I keep it in a positive form. Again, nature in transition and how that kind of connects us all. And I try to, with the colors and that translucency, to create, that mood of like you're a part of it. You're really within the piece.
John Dennis joins us right now on the Splash Live, contemporary artist showcasing several different forms with cast resin and glass-like media, all of which is going to be on display at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show in just a few short weeks. Now, as you said, this is your first time coming to the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. How has becoming a part of this community and joining this incredible show influenced your creative development, and what do you hope the community takes away from your presence?
So I'm from Michigan, not too far away from there. Originally, I left very young, and so I'm kind of going back there and reintroducing myself with, all this new work. And I never showed my work when I was younger. I left there very young at 12. And so I really want to introduce myself to the community. And I think because I don't know, the Great Lakes were a big inspiration for me. And I spent a lot of time on Lake Michigan and in that whole area. And actually, I think I was inspired by that as a child. And now going back there is kind of really nice. It's a reunion of sorts.
Oh, I love that. That's always great to see, to come back to your roots and to showcase how you've grown and to showcase what you've learned along the way. I love hearing that. And I'd imagine with making these incredible artworks, it's a very intricate process. Can you share what a day in the studio looks like when crafting these complex pieces, especially regarding technique and material experimentation?
Sure. So first I start with, I carve and plaster. I use only hand tools, grinders, chisels, all basic, no computers. And from drawings, I'll create a piece, and then from that piece, I use it as an open face form, like a breakaway mold in a way. So it's a limited edition. And then, so I layer the glass, let it cool, and then I do the acrylic over that. So a day could entail one of those processes, but I work on multiple pieces in different stages through the day.
Interesting. Very, very great process. And I can't wait to see everything that you're going to have on display at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. Now, looking ahead, how do you envision your work continuing to evolve? And what types of collaborations would you love to bring to the West Bloomfield area?
Yeah, so I'm interested in also incorporating stainless steel, maybe working with a stainless steel artist and incorporating that into some public pieces. Right now I'm using some silver leaf, and it's working out really well. And if I kind of add a little bit of stainless with that, that could really be good. And that could also take the scale of my work even bigger and give it a whole different multimedia facet. So that could be something as well. And I'm playing with the idea of doing a show at a botanical garden, and I'm going to kind of introduce that into different cities, and we'll see how that goes.
Interesting. Love hearing your thought process. Can't wait to see what's to come in the future, and I can't wait to see you out at the show. John, before I let you go, one more quick question. When you see people at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show, what do you hope is the most important thing that everybody takes away from your exhibit?
Okay, great question. So to see it in person is much more interesting, and there's more of you really sense the piece versus just a photograph. So people can just see it in person, and I think that will help them understand what it does in light. And I can also I always talk about my process at the shows, so that'll be part of it too.
Awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, so it's really different people ask different questions, so there's not one spiel. It's always, I try to personalize it according to the question, and it's a good time because I also meet the community, and it's always good to see people excited about the work.
Everyone is going to be very excited when they're out at the art show, and they're going to be even more excited once they see the incredible work that you have to offer. John, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you.
John and several other artists are going to be on display at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show that's taking place this weekend. Can't wait to see everybody out there. We're going to take a quick break and jump into some more stories right here on the Splash Live right after this. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
So much is happening in your community. Join Jake, Tyler, and Kevin for local events and developments on the Splash Live, weekdays at 10 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com, YouTube, and Facebook.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. The National Academy of Athletics launched its Oakland County franchise under Brad McAleer to partner with West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation for youth sports camps. Upcoming offerings including a pickleball camp that's going to be taking place from the 28th of July to August 1st, alongside all sports programs for ages 4 through 12. Brad McAleer, the owner of the National Academy of Athletics for Oakland County, recently joined us on the Splash Live to tell us all about the classes and what they provide for the kids of the community.
We have Brad McAleer. Thanks for being here, Brad.
Thank you, Kevin. It's great to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you here doing things to help our youth and our kids get out and stay active in the summertime, and rather than just playing games. There's a time and place for that. But let's get into how you all have actually partnered with Parks and Recs. How did that partnership actually happen?
Well, it just started with grassroots, getting out there, talking to as many as we could, and luckily West Bloomfield was one that had a need for some additional programs, additional sports in their area, and they have been phenomenal to work with, probably one of the best, if not the best partner that I've got. And we're able to offer some really cool sports, not just camps, but through clubs and other things for the kids in the area.
Nice, nice. Now, how do you see the program evolving to serve the specific Greater West Bloomfield community?
Well, right now we're in the thick of summer camp. We've got an all sports and a junior all sports. Our junior is ages 4 to 6, running right now at Marshbank Park as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hot day, but they're out there having a blast. I think right now they're doing soccer or have merged into flag football. But
Nice.
beyond just our summer camps, we're going to have fall programs. We're running on the weekends for 5-6 weeks. We're going to come back with spring programs and then summer camps again next year. So it's just really exciting to be able to provide an outlet for kids to play and give them a place to come out and just have a ton of fun. And, it's not just that, but meet new friends. I was out at camp yesterday and, there was some kids that I never met before. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, she's my best friend. And then this morning at drop off, one of the moms is saying, my daughters were just talking about, can I go back out and see Olivia? Can I go see her? I want to see her. So it's really cool to see these friendships, form through camp and through playing.
It'd be memories they'll never forget too, Brad. I remember going to different camps like that, meeting kids that I don't know to the day, but at the time, it was the greatest thing ever. Meeting new kids had just the same energy as you, enthusiasm. You're doing sports together, builds that camaraderie. I already know it's a great thing, and it just helps it all come together so very well. Now, we briefly talked about how, yes, we're doing athletics and getting outside, but talked about the other life skills as well. How do you incorporate some of these life skills like teamwork and resilience into these daily camp activities?
Through the play. I mean, sports are extremely important to be able to provide, like you talked about, teamwork, but confidence building, problem solving. So just in playing and learning how to fail and how to get up and how to keep moving forward, that translates not only in sports, but into everyday life, whether it be in the classroom or just, with your friends. It is something that, like we like to say, sports, give you valuable life lessons, life skills that you're going to use. And it's just really through playing and experiencing and, like I said, learning how to fail and learning how to get back up. You miss a shot, you miss a goal, you come back and you do it again. And, so we teach those skills, again, through playing, but we teach them in ways that, we put the campers and the kids in a position to have to work with somebody else, to have to get out of their comfort zone and push them a little bit in a good way, but push them a little bit to, experience more and, like I said, learn those things.
I don't think you realize how important what you said in regards to learning how to fail. I think adults need to revisit that sometime. I'm going to be honest with you, Brad, because that is a hard thing to deal with for a lot of people. Learning how to fail, learn how to deal with rejection, all of that. And if you don't learn to deal with it early, I think it's and then you learn that through sports because you're not going to win every game. So I think that was a very solid point, and that is absolutely needed. Great job with that. You hit the nail on the head with that. I want to ask you, when you were, I guess, doing your research or before you all actually implemented your plan and activities right here in West Bloomfield, did you identify any needs or gaps in our youth sports programming right here in West Bloomfield? Anything that you provided that was not here already?
We did that by working with West Bloomfield Parks, and we offer 14 different sports. So whatever they don't have, we can bring in and pretty much run that program or offer that sport for them. So the two big ones were tennis and pickleball. Pickleball has been the fastest growing sport 4 years in a row. Started out with the older community, but it's exploding with kids. So we've last week we ran a pickleball camp. We had one in June, and I'm sorry, last week was tennis, but we've run pickleball and tennis camps, and they've been big. And then the all sports camp really just gives kids the ability to experience a lot of different sports in 1 week. We're in this, era of travel sports, and it's 10 months out of the year or the whole year, and kids are dedicating themselves to one sport, and they're not getting the ability to try everything and play everything. So that's really what our all sports camp does. As I mentioned earlier, they were playing soccer when I left camp. They were going to do flag football after that. We've got kickball on the docket for later this afternoon, and just some sports that they may not get to play other than in gym class, and it gives them the ability to try it. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe they fall in love with it, and then they want to go down that route of playing that sport.
I agree. Let them experience everything early, sports, activity, everything, and just let them choose what they're passionate about or what they don't like. I 100% agree with that. And with me right here, by the way, live on The Splash is the owner of National Academy of Athletics for Oakland County, Brad McAleer, just talking about their summer sports camp with WB Parks and more. Before we let you go, Brad, we appreciate your time and being here. Give out the details of the camp that people need to know if they are interested in any other information we need to know.
Yes, so we've got 2 camps left this summer with West Bloomfield. We've got a pickleball camp coming up the week of July 28th through August 1st. And then we've got another all sports camp coming up August 4th through the 8th. Again, the all sports, we offer it for junior academy, which is ages 4 to 6, and for youth, which is ages 7 to 12. Our pickleball camp is ages 7 to 13. To register for those, wbparks.org. Top right-hand corner, there's a register button, so you can go click on that and find out all the details. But we also have, as I mentioned, fall sports coming up. So we're going to have a tennis club, we're going to have a pickleball club, we're going to have a junior all-sports club, and a youth all-sports club. Those are going to be running on Sundays starting in September. So that pretty soon should be up on wbparks.org to register for those as well.
Okay.
Or you can visit our website, oaklandcountyyouthsports.com. All the information about the company, about our mission, our philosophy, and also can find those classes and links take you directly to wbparks.org to register. But we're proud to be in West Bloomfield. We're proud to serve the community. The big thing for us is we bring the equipment, we bring the coaches. We just want as many kids as we can get out there to experience it, to play, to have fun. And like I said, maybe get a lifelong love of sports, but at the very least, be active, meet some new friends, have a blast, and just be outside off the screen. Yeah,
it's so much you can take away from it. And I'm so glad that you all are doing it. Thank you once again. And thank you to the owner of National Academy of Athletics for Oakland County, Brad McAleer, for giving us your time and your information. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. It's been a blast talking to you. I really enjoyed it. And, hopefully some people check out our website and we see you out at camp or out on the field in the fall.
Great resources to be getting everybody outside this summer. But that's going to do it for us today here on The Splash Live. I want to say a big thank you to all of our guests and for everybody on the Splash Live team for helping to make this fantastic show possible. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.